What is up, guys? It's Verns, back here again with another Supercoach video. This time it's the NBL Round 18 review. Look, pretty poor week. 510 meant we went up 124 places to 1828. I mean, that's sort of what happens. Like, these 1400 round rankings, it's 400 places higher than where I'm actually ranked. So yeah, we went up 100 spots, but yeah, last year, if I got anything out of the top 1000, it was really painful. So just shows such a difference this year that, 1400, which doesn't feel that bad because of my overall rank, but I know in reality there's a lot of teams that would really suffer with this. The 510 wasn't the worst score. I know the consensus team, which is like ranked 300 and something, got a 530, and it didn't move a single spot, so it did stay exactly where it was. But look, just before we jump into it, I do want to thank all of you for, once again, tuning into these videos, especially so late in the season. For those that have really stuck around, liking, subscribing, to get consistent injections of Supercoach content directly into their YouTube feed. Yeah, we'll obviously start that AFL content soon. I just thought we would, get this done before we sort of get into that. Sometimes I don't enjoy getting into the AFL content too early because I'm not a deep dive guy on like the rookies or anything like that, and I want to see more out of these premiums. I want to see practice games. I want my eye test to really help. Where like right now I'm picking players off speculation in the last season, and there's a lot that can change over the last 6 months that the players have had off. So something I will dive a bit more into a little bit later. Maybe in a few weeks. So yeah, once we wrap this up, once I finish work on the 21st of Feb, I'll probably go pretty hard on watching these practice games and stuff like that and get some videos out in regards to that then. But we will look at the team. This is how we went for the week, and I think that's the biggest problem. We can see 4 premiums on field. We ended up with Kell on a single, and anyone that's at this point of the game probably isn't in this situation where they had to field only 4 premiums. They probably set themselves up better. They probably have that bench where instead of having a Foxwell, they have a Sobe because they got extra 300k. They have a Peatling as a Froling, things like that, where it's just a better team. So yeah, it's really it was really disappointing, unfortunately. And yeah, I guess we'll work on it, hopefully get better as we go. Just give me one moment here, guys. I'll be right. Thanks for holding there, guys. Sorry, Mrs. was giving me a call. It's not often she'll be calling me at this time, so I was wondering what was up. But that's all good. But yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. We know we're down in premiums, and it just sucks. Ran Kell on field, and this was a really weird week. So we ran Kell on field because he's going into Cairns, and we thought easy kill into Cairns. Cairns come out and they beat the first place Illawarra, and I'm pretty sure Perth might have been 3rd. They were 2nd last week, but I think knocked down to 3rd before this game. And then they beat Perth as well, and they just came out and absolutely played amazing without Taron Armstrong, which was really weird. Bradshaw was definitely on point. I mean, we brought this guy in the last second. That's probably what you're all looking at thinking, wait, where did Bradshaw come from, Vern? You were never talking about him. You're right, whenever I talked about him, I was like, I don't want to pick Bradshaw, please, no. But I ended up in this position where Prather wasn't out at the end of the day, and that was a big problem for me. It's like, not a big problem, but that was one thing I was doing. I was trading Prather instead of Cook, with the extra like 50k on Prather's head, meant that I could get Bradshaw up to Doolittle, I think it was. Yeah, I think that was it. But with, unfortunately, Prather playing, it meant I didn't have that extra 50k, and I had to start skimping the bottom of the barrel, and it was Jarell Martin I was originally talking about. But since we had enough notification, because I saw the Twitter post the day before saying Prather's going to play Friday night, it meant that Thursday I could go on a Cairns guy, and I thought, you know what, Cairns have got 2 doubles in the last 3 games. Jarell Martin also does have that, but I don't know, he just hasn't been convincing, and I don't know what it was. Something just convinced me to go Bradshaw instead, and I went, stuff it, let's go Bradshaw. I know we'd also been talking about, Warningberg, can he be a pick, but with that high of a break-even, I don't know if it's worth it. He ends up meeting his break-even of 90, which was incredible. He was so close to that triple-double with the 9 rebounds and 9 assists as well. That would have been nuts for owners if he got that. But yeah, last week probably scared a lot of owners off from actually fielding Warningberg, so crazy how that played out. But yeah, Bradshaw, amazing pickup at the end of the day. Really left the field from me, and I couldn't even explain to you why I picked him. It just ended up happening, and I'm pretty happy about it. Some other thing I want to take into account when we are picking like these final 2 rounds is like, so we want 5 premiums on field, and unfortunately I really put myself in a position where I just don't have 5 premiums every week. The final week I will, if we count like Groves, Bradshaw, and Kell, even, we say Peatling as well. Those 4 guys all have the double in the last week, so 3 of those I'm going to consider premiums, meaning I just need to trade in 2 other premiums, and boom, we're good to go. Something I've been eyeing off as well is there's a chance that Illawarra, if they win this week, I don't know if they put themselves, depending on the other results, but they could put themselves in a position where they can't be caught, where they end up the number 1 seed or the guaranteed top 2, and because of that, if Illawarra end up doing that, then there's a chance that maybe instead of trying to pay up for like a Froling and pay up for the big dogs, maybe Froling and like a Tyler Harvey, maybe we end up focusing on like a Will Hickey and an Aldridge, because we kind of saw this last year where Melbourne and Perth ended up guaranteed first and second, and the rookies got a run. So maybe we could look at Hickey, who has like a really high has a really high ceiling when he gets the minutes in reality, and Aldridge also has a pretty good ceiling. So I think those are 2 guys I wouldn't mind aiming for, and if we do aim for them, they're not crazy expensive either. So let's just say Hickey, hypothetically, sorry, my keyboard is turned off, there we go. Hickey, 240, pretty gettable. I'm pretty sure he's going to have a good break even, but even if it's like 260 next week, that's pretty gettable. That's not too much money. If I go down from anyone, it's gonna be a very easy transition. And Aldrich, I'm pretty sure he's in high oh my goodness, he is so cheap now that it's like Meninga down, put 60k on top of a Foxwell means we get Hickey, and that means we can still have Davis on his single. Who would he be better than Hickey? Maybe. We can still have like Harrell on their single, and still have like a really good looking team even for the last week. So yeah, that might be what I'm aiming for, because Adelaide are in a position where their big dogs are going to have to play that final week. So holding on to them, I think, will be pretty good. If we get onto the low prices like a Hickey and Aldridge, that could be really good. So that's something I'm focusing on in the last week, which means that trades for this week, there really could just be 1 week rentals. I think we saw it earlier. Like, this really sucks as well, because some people have been like holding Bryce on the bench through this period of time, and they're just going to throw Bryce on field now. They're going to have Davis and Bryce, and they're going to be way better than the position we're in, unfortunately. So yeah, it's hard to say for my trades, but Brisbane have finally finished their run. They only have 2 singles left, so Prather's the obvious out here. So if we go Prather out, it's a lot of money that's floating around. If we just filter for the teams that we're looking for, so Perth, Adelaide, Sem, and Taz. And the other thing to take into account here, guys, is any team that has a double this week don't have it next week. So you're not picking anyone up for a double-double, it's just picking up for 1 week. I think the 2 obvious ones that stand out to most people in the forward line are going to be Christian Doolittle. Obviously, Matt Hurt. If you got the money for Matt Hurt, congrats. You got Matt Hurt. But Christian Doolittle and Joe Wieskamp, they're the guys that are standing out as these sort of cheaper guys that we can get. It means more money in the pocket so we can get better upgrades elsewhere. The other guy I'm looking at getting rid of is potentially Isaac White, but it's just, there's not much I can get in for him, unfortunately, where Menenga, with a high break-even on a single, he could go to Olbrich early, but if I do that, I only have 2 guys on these doubles. I really have to get 2 premiums in, and then field 4 premiums with 1 rookie. I think Isaac, yeah, if I do go down the cheaper line of getting someone, who are these guys from this team that I want? So obviously Bryce and KD, they're the obvious ones. Sobeys ended up way too expensive. Yeah, you have Doyle, who's really cheap, and Crawford, who's really cheap, which is pretty nice in reality. They're the guys I would like to aim for, but I just don't think I have the money for them. And then, yeah, I think if I end up going down to like a Benny Henschel, that's the painful thing. It's like I could go for like a Ben Henschel and like a Christian Doolittle, and it's not the worst. I mean, Henschel is someone that can get 28 on the single, so that's not bad. I think Perth also have a good run where they have a few games that they're at home to finish. So they do have a couple. If I did end up holding Henschel in the single against Adelaide, it's probably not the end of the world. But Henschel's an option with Christian Doolittle. Or I could go for like a Wieskamp, and then does that let me get... Yeah, that lets me get Doyle. So I could go for like a Wieskamp and a Doyle here, go for sort of 2 mid-rangey budget picks, or I could go more high-end and then more low-end. Tasmania are playing where they need to make playoffs. The other thing is, though, Perth, they really want that top 2 spot too, so they're playing hard for that too. Same with Wieskamp, he's been really good. I think this is probably the best outcome. I really did like the Christian Doolittle. I mean, look at that. He went up 43k. That was the painful thing. He just went up so much money the week before, which made him ungettable, and then so much money again this week, which just Makes it really hard, unfortunately. So I think somehow this ends up being the best play for me. Technically, I could run Foxwell on this double. With 2 20s in his back pocket, he wouldn't be the worst. And if I went Menenga out, Groves down, then I could bring in another center. But for this kind of price tag, it just doesn't work out. Like, I don't think there's anyone at that price I can get that's a good center anyway. So I think this is the kind of awkward position I end up in. And I think we just run Groves because... yeah, we probably just run Groves at the end of the day. Hopefully he can do well enough in Taco. He's been pretty consistent. If he can get like 30 points, we'll be happy enough with that, I think. Yeah, and then the rest of the team a little bit clunky around the joint. So, yeah, a bit of an awkward one, but I think this is how we're going to have to go into it. Remember, Taz do have Illawarra and Melbourne. That's the hard thing too. Perth don't have easy matchups either, but maybe... I mean, Sem's pretty defensive in reality. Sydney give up a lot of points, though. Yeah, if you get onto a hurt, I'd feel really good about a hurt this week into Perth and Adelaide. Both teams that give up points to their bigs. If I went for a hurt, though... let's just... okay, I'm just going to jump back real quick. I'm just going to jump back. If I went for a hurt, what position does that put me in money-wise? So, let's just say we bring in hurt. It leaves no money. If I'm going to an Isaac White and I get a players I can afford, there's just going to be no one here. Like, literally no one. Oh my gosh. What, a Pepper or something? And then we look at Perth, Illawarra, not Sydney, Sam and Taz. Yeah. I mean, Steindl definitely doing better. I say better. He was just hitting some shots this game. Kenyon's been getting some minutes too, which was interesting. Air's getting minutes. Stoddart, yeah, actually a really good game. But I just don't feel comfortable about those. I bring in a dead pick, and then what I feel... Foxwell? Foxwell isn't the worst field. Maybe get a 40 out of him. Yeah, it's just not good. I mean, at this point, I'd almost rather go Isaac White out. Let's go Groves down. And then, yeah, then we can go a Wieskamp. I'd feel better almost going a Hurt and a Wieskamp. Next week, I don't want to trade Harold. I can move him to the bench for Groves, Bradshaw on, Kell comes on, Olbrich, and Hickey. I mean, this isn't the worst thing, actually. This isn't the worst. So, Olbrich is still pretty cheap. Could get to him pretty easily, but then who am I giving up? Would I give up a Wieskamp for Olbrich? And then that means I can go maybe a White to a Hickey. It's not the worst. But Menenga's, I think, a lot better than like a White. I feel a lot more comfortable with Menenga in the team, so maybe I keep Menenga. Yeah, and I'm going to go with the first option. It doesn't feel great, but I'm going to go with it. Okay, Wieskamp, I don't know where you need to go, but let's grab Joe Wieskamp and let's... why am I looking for a center? I think it broke. There's no way you're going to let me do this, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, what are you doing? Like, come on. Why is he there? Why are you like giving me centers? Okay, this thing's cooked. I'm going to really quickly reverse that. But you guys know what I'm doing here. We're going to bring in Doyle and we're going to bring in Wieskamp. And I think we're going to feel pretty good about that. So we've got Tez and Sim. Doyle and Wieskamp. Cool. But that'll be the team heading into the week. They're my plans for the final week. Yep. Best of luck to all those in their finals. Those that are going head-to-head to me. Those that have knocked me out. Like, congrats there. Hopefully we can at least have a decent week this week. Once again, only 4 premiums on field. Doesn't feel good. Last week we should be able to get, 5 premiums on field, hopefully. Well, we definitely will. And then hopefully we can at least finish with a good enough end to the year. But yeah, till next time, guys, I really appreciate all you for tuning in. Peace, later.